What is going on, everyone? Peridot coming back at you with another yard sale finds video. Definitely nice to have another one after there being such a long hiatus between the other two yard sale episodes. And definitely another video of just pure amazing finds. Just a bunch of really good stuff. If you'd watched my Quest for the Cube video, you know that the first part of this video was going to be the Genesis and PlayStation 1 lot I mentioned in that. However, I actually ended up finding some more stuff, which I'm going to be showing you guys in the second part. Like I said, I'm dividing these into two parts like I did the last video. Basically, because there's so much stuff to show off. But let's just go ahead and dive right into the first part of the video. If you've watched my Quest for the Cube video, which I definitely recommend you doing, it's basically just a video series documenting my journey to trying to get the 100% complete GameCube collection. Definitely going to take a long time, but basically that's where all of the GameCube games that I find, that's the video it's going to be shown in. Everything from like thrift stores, yard sales, eBay pickups and stuff like that, it's all going in there. So if you want to see my GameCube part of the whole lot that I'm about to show you, definitely go and do that because I found some really good stuff. But anyways, let's just dive right into the other stuff I found. Now, for all this stuff and then the GameCube games I found, I paid $100 for everything, so it was an absolute steal of a deal. I ended up having to leave a lot more behind because all I had on me was $100, but I didn't leave anything that I knew wasn't worth, at least a little bit of something or wasn't, super common. But anyways, let's just dive right into these Genesis games. First up, we have a game I picked up strictly because it was a complete knockoff. I just took one look at this and I'm like, what the hell? I have to pick it up. We have a copy of Funny World and Balloon Boy. Very excited to add this game. No, I'm totally kidding. The only reason why I picked it up was strictly to make fun of it. Just everything about this game is so cheap. It says on the back, not designed, manufactured, sponsored, or endorsed by Sega of America. The game itself does not even fit in the case. Like, you put it in, and it falls out immediately. It's absolutely ridiculous. However, the game itself isn't actually terrible. It's pretty much a Mario Bros. Duck Hunt ripoff, but it does the ripoff part well, I guess. Like, the controls aren't sluggish or anything like that. Well, then again, I've only played the Funny World part of the game. I haven't actually played Balloon Boy, so who knows? Balloon Boy could probably be a steaming pile of shit. Yeah, it's just something I picked up just to give me a good laugh. It's like, really, come on, you could do better than that. Now moving on to the real Genesis games. First up, we have Mick and Mac as the Global Gladiators. A McDonald's game, complete in box. Nice find right there. It goes for about $12 complete in box online. The rest of these games, unfortunately, did not have the manual, but they did have their box, which was pretty nice. Tailspin, which I believe is another Capcom Disney title. Not complete, but the game is there and in decent shape. I got a copy of Road Rash. It does not have its manual, however, it does have a few inserts like this EA kind of like registration card and then the regular Sega Genesis registration card, so I thought those were pretty cool to have. The game itself is also in there and in really good shape, so definitely nice. And then definitely the best game of the Genesis lot. Saw this game and I was really excited to pick it up. Copy of Toe Jam and Earl. Very strange name and a very strange game. However, this game, I've heard, is very, very good. The game, unfortunately, was not complete. If I can get it open. Jesus Christ. There we go. But it did have like a registration card, and the card itself was in mint condition. And even without the box, it goes for like $30 to $35 just the cart. So, very good game to add to the Genesis collection. My boxed Genesis collection is slowly rising ever since that huge lot I got a couple weeks back that you guys saw in the last video. Alright, but that was it for the Genesis stuff. Not a whole lot. He had a few more Genesis games, but they were all sports games or like Sonic. Nothing special or anything like that. Those were definitely the best games I picked up. But alright, let's move on to the PlayStation stuff. Basically, I left behind everything that I at least had some degree of what I knew it was worth. Like all the Spyro and Crash Bandicoot games, those are as common as pretty much any, like, common game. It's pretty much the most common game out there, but I left those behind. I left behind a few others, like Final Fantasy VII, Legend of Dragoon, games like those, that I know I'd probably find again eventually. But, however, I picked up, like, the games that I picked up, I knew I'd probably have a little bit of a harder time finding, even if they weren't, like, super, like, rare or anything. I've never seen those, so let me show you everything I got. First up, we have The Bombing Islands, only a $5 game, but I picked it up because, again, I didn't really know anything about it, so probably the worst game out of the lot, which is pretty good. A game I actually did know a little bit about, Chicken Run. Believe it or not, I actually saw a review video on this. This guy basically said this is like Metal Gear Solid, but Chicken Run, which I thought was a very weird concept, but I feel like it could work. So I was excited to give it a playthrough. It's only like a $6 or $7 game, but still, you know, it's a fun game, so I guess that works. Another game I didn't really know didn't know anything about, Populous: The Beginning. This is like a $10 game complete in box, so I wasn't missing out on too much, but it is, you know, decently valued. A game I know I probably shouldn't have picked up, considering it's very common, but I've been wanting this game for a while, so I figured why the hell not. Resident Evil Director's Cut, greatest hits version and missing the manual, which is unfortunate, but it is in there, which is really all that matters. Up next, we have Rampage World Tour. Then we have Bomberman Party Edition. This is not the rarest Bomberman game on the PlayStation 1. There's Bomberman World and that Bomberman Racing game that are worth a little bit more, but this is still like a $10, $15 game, so nice find right there. Then up next, a game I knew was worth a little bit of something. Unfortunately, does not have the manual. Buster Bros Collection. This is even like a $15 game, even without the manuals. So definitely a nice find right there. It's basically like a collection of all the Buster Bros games, which I hear are actually pretty good. So, all right, now we're going to be getting into the pretty decent games. First up, we have a game, again, I knew nothing about, but apparently it has a little bit of worth to it. Guardians Crusade, an Activision RPG, and usually RPGs on the PlayStation are worth a little bit of money, but I was surprised to learn that this is like a $15 to $20 game, and it is in really nice shape, so very good game to add to the collection. Never heard anything about it, so I'm actually excited to give this a playthrough, see if it's any good. Then up next, we have Star Ocean, the second story. This was complete in box and in really good shape with both discs and the manual. So very excited to give that a playthrough. This is a $20 game. I hear pretty good things about this, so happy to find that. Alright, and then we have a game, believe it or not, that I actually kind of expected to be in this lot. Now, a little bit of backstory to this. I found this game at Goodwill a couple months back, and there was a guy I know who I trade with quite often. He'd really been wanting that game, and I wasn't going to trade him my own personal copy, and I told him, you know, if I ever find this game again, we'll definitely trade it to you. And then when this lot came up, I was like, hey, who knows, maybe it might be in there. Turns out it was. We got a copy of Azure Dreams. Now, this is my own personal copy, the one I found at Goodwill a couple months back. However, the one I traded him was about like the same condition, just very mint. The disc was, you know, barely scratched. Very good game. But I do have what I ended up trading for. I traded him that, and he gave me this, Ghouls and Ghosts. This is, okay, god damn it, these things can be really stubborn. This is complete in box and in pretty good shape. I've been wanting to, like I said, I've been wanting to really get my Box Genesis collection, like, up out of the, like, I need more Box Genesis games. They just look really nice on the shelf, and I feel like this plastic box is pretty cool to have. So, very happy to get that. Thank you again. He was actually the guy who traded me the GameCube lot. So definitely another good trade right there. Very happy with it. Alright, up next we have Legend of Mana. Very, very happy to add this collection. This is the sequel to Secret of Mana. I'm not going to play this until I actually find Secret of Mana and give it a complete playthrough, but the game looks amazing, and it is mint condition as well, so very, very happy to get that. Alright, up next we have another Squaresoft title, Threads of Fate. I don't know anything about this. This is like the only game that they made, and I really haven't heard much. Like, I don't hear people talk about this game very often, so it could be bad, it could be amazing, who knows. But it is a pretty valuable game. It goes for anywhere between $35 to $45, and it is in mint condition. So, very good game right there. Definitely wonderful game to have with this bundle. Alright, now we have a game I've been wanting to play for a very long time. Very happy to get this in the collection. We have Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Greatest Hits version, but I don't really care. I know the green sticks out, but I'm just happy to have this in the collection and be able to play it because I've heard perfect reviews about this game. I've heard that this game is considered the best Castlevania game ever made, that it's just amazing. So, definitely a great game to give a playthrough. Definitely should be in your PlayStation collection if you don't already have it. Alright, now we're getting into the two best games. Two games that, in my opinion, are criminally underrated. These games are just so fun and fantastic and creative and whimsical and beautiful. Just two games that you don't really see too often because they didn't sell very well in the United States, and they're pretty like sought after because of it. We have Tomba and Tomba 2. Very, very happy to add these games to the collection. Just fantastic games. Tomba goes for anywhere between $60 $60 to $70 online, and Tomba 2 goes anywhere between $45 to $55 online. I actually saw on eBay both of these games in an auction that hadn't ended yet, and it still had 4 days left, and it was currently sitting at $110. So that right there pretty much pays for the entire lot. But of course, I'm not going to be selling these. These are games I'm 100% keeping, games that are just fantastic, and the condition is really good as well. The cases are like no scuffs or anything like that. The disc itself is a little scratched. I'll show that off real quick. A little bit scratched and fingerprinted, but definitely playable. And Tomba 2 was actually in a different case. I swapped out the case. The front cover was torn off, and it was cracked, so I just decided to swap it out with a random sports game I had, and now it is definitely in a lot better shape than it was originally. Still is a little bit, the manual itself, there's a little bit of like, I don't know if it's like food or toothpaste or something on it, and the game itself is very wrinkled, or the manual is wrinkled. But it's still a really good game to add to the collection, and it still holds a lot of value despite the condition. Alright, but that is it for the first part of this video. Definitely could have just made this one video all by itself, but I ended up finding a lot more stuff that you guys will be seeing in just a second, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so the second part of my video, I was not expecting to find anything. I was expecting to just upload the first part of my video because there was enough to upload for just a straight up video of like the PS1 and Genesis stuff. However, I went riding on my bike yesterday. Usually on weeks where I can't go do the yard sales, I don't have a car, I just ride my bike around the neighborhood and see if there's anything. And there actually was a community yard sale to the neighborhood next to mine. It was a little bit of ways away. I ended up doing some serious biking. I think I biked like half an hour out from my home. But it was definitely worth it because at this community yard sale, I found a Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and N64 lot. Basically, the story goes is right around in the neighborhood. I can't find anything. The only thing I did manage to find was I walked up to a sale, and it was a Nintendo DS lot. It was like the system, a couple of games, complete in the box for $25. and as I walked up, someone had already bought it, so I was like, I missed out, but I didn't miss out on much. Like, the games were kind of cheap. I think the best one was Animal Crossing. But anyways, one of the last sales I ended up going to, I asked about video games, and he said he had Super Nintendo and N64 stuff that he wasn't sure he wanted to get rid of. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, if you'd be willing to just sell some of the games separately, some of the games you just don't play. And he said, okay, my brother is coming back in a couple of minutes. When he comes back, I'll go inside because I can't leave my kids outside alone at the yard sale. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I rode my bike around. I didn't find anything else except for one guy who said we exchanged numbers. He said he had some original NES games, so hopefully that works out. However, when I came back, he actually brought it all out. And basically everything I'm going to show you, I paid $70 for. It's a little bit much, more than I usually pay at yard sales. He originally asked for 100, but we negotiated and we settled on 70. 100 would have been a fair price for all this, but I just didn't have the money at the time. A lot of this is stuff that I already have, so most of it is either going to be resold to make some of my money back or traded. But anyways, let's just move on to it. First up, we have the Game Boy lot. We have the system, which is extremely beat up. The front case is missing. However, the back is intact and not broken off, and there's no battery corrosion, which was surprising to me because that usually happens all the time. It does work, however, it's got the black lines on it, so obviously it's in need of a little bit of work. I probably will just be getting rid of this somehow. But the games were really where it's at. First up, we have a copy of Quarth. Then we have Star Wars. I already own this, so this will probably be getting sold or traded. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Super Mario Land. Again, already own this. And then the two best games, Donkey Kong Land, and then Kirby's Dream Land. I actually did not own this game. It is in some rough shape. The label's peeling off, you can see, and the top is kind of crusted. But it's nice to have for the collection because I own the second one, but not the first one. So, happy to get that. Alright, now let's move on to the Nintendo 64 bundle. First up, we have just the system itself, black system. Unfortunately, no expansion pack, just the regular jumper pack. Came with all the cords, and then two standard gray controllers. Both the sticks on these are pretty tight. I'd say like a 6 or 7 out of 10. So I've been needing Nintendo 64 controllers, so that was pretty nice. And then, unfortunately, there was only 4 games, and I had 3 of the 4. So these are all probably going to be getting resold, except for the one I'm keeping, which is A Bug's Life, which isn't anything special. It's only like a $5 game, but still. And then we have Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. He also had that on the Game Boy, so apparently he really liked this game. Super Mario 64, this was non-player's choice, and my copy was player's choice, so I swapped it out with my copy. This is in really nice shape. He also bought all of these at Bookman's. I took the stickers off, but they were all from 2011. A Bug's Life and Shadows of the Empire were at $8, and then Super Mario 64, and then this other game I'm about to show you was $15. And then the other game was Mario Party. Unfortunately, no second or third one, which is what I'm looking for, but this is still a nice game to have, a nice game to find, so nice little bundle right there. Like I said, it came with all the cords and the 2 controllers. I'm already selling the N64 bundle to a coworker of mine. I'm giving him a discount. I'm giving him Mario Party, Star Wars, and Super Mario 64, and the Nintendo 64 with 2 controllers and all the hookups for $60. So, you know, definitely could get a little bit more. Probably get at least 100 from all of those, but I figured I'd just give him a discount. I'm not a huge fan of buying systems because I can never really find a place for them, but luckily for that, I was able to find a home relatively quickly. Alright, and then up next is definitely the biggest lot, we have the Super Nintendo lot. First up, we have the system itself, which is definitely a little yellowed. I have not tested it. I'm sure it works, though, because these things always work. If we'll take a look back here, everything looks fine. I actually haven't tested the N64, but like I said, these things usually work like all day, every day. Came with all the cords. It did not come with the AV cable. It came with like the RF thing, which sucks, but not really a huge deal. Two controllers, which are both pretty yellowed, which sucks, but I mean, you know, it really can't get away from this disgusting yellow corrosion that these Super Nintendos and the controllers have. And now for the games. First up, we have a Super Game Boy, which explains why the Game Boy was in rough shape and didn't look like he played it, even though he had a bunch of Game Boy games. He probably just played it on the Super Game Boy. It's really clean and really nice shape. Happy to finally get one of these. Been looking for one for a while. Alright, and now for the games. NHL PA Hockey, Wheel of Fortune Deluxe Edition, Tasmania. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because I have this complete in box on the Genesis from a pickup a while back. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell the Super Nintendo version or the Genesis version, because I prefer Super Nintendo over Genesis, but at the same time I love complete in box Genesis games, and I don't have a lot, so I'm not sure what I'll do with there. Maybe I'll just keep them for both systems. Never heard of this game before, but it's not very valuable. Revolution X. Music is the weapon featuring Aerosmith. Very interesting title right there. It's only like a $5 or $6 game, which sucks because I saw this and I never heard of it, so I thought maybe it could be worth a little bit of money. But unfortunately, it is not, but I'll still keep it and add it to the collection. Alright, up next we have The Jungle Book. And then a copy of The Lion King. Happy to finally get this. I have this in the box for the Genesis, but I'll probably just sell the Genesis version since it's not complete in box. It just has the box. Super Alfred Chicken. Very interesting name. Never heard. I mean, I've heard of this game, but I don't know what exactly it is. Like it's about. So not interested. I'm excited to give that a try. And then the best games. All these games I own, so they're probably gonna get sold or traded with the Super Nintendo. First up, we have NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Then Super Mario World, of course, can never go wrong with one of these. For some reason, still sells for like 15 to 20 bucks. Super Mario All-Stars, nice clean copy. All these games were in really good shape. So, then Super Mario Kart Player's Choice, which is unfortunate because my copy is Player's Choice. Actually, wait, no, mine isn't. I forgot mine is not Player's Choice, but apparently there's a lot of Player's Choice copies out there. And then finally, definitely the best game, Mega Man X. Unfortunately, not the second or third one. That would have been a really nice find, but still can never go wrong with these. So, yeah, I paid 70 bucks for everything. Gonna make most of my money back selling the N64 and a couple of games. But yeah, that is it for that. Hopefully that NES deal goes through. We exchanged numbers. I'm gonna get back to him soon when I have a little bit more money, because I'm kind of burnt out on cash after buying everything. I'm paying 70 bucks for everything. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully we'll have more garage sale videos out soon. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.